So for step 13, attaching the front damper stay, we're going to need this piece here and these two arm pieces here. And then of course we've got our gear joints and the two step screws, which we're going to have to grease up as well. And then we've got a couple MA5. So I have all of the hardware that we're going to need here, and there is our top damper stay and the two arms. So I think what we'll first do is let's get this top piece attached to the gearbox. So let's grab our gearbox here, and you can see just in terms of the look of this and the way that is, because you can see it's flat on this side, it sticks out on this side. We're going to grab this and put it there. And you're going to be using these MA5, the silver screws, to put this in. So I'll just grab the screwdriver, and they're tapping screws, so I just want to make sure that that goes in as it's supposed to. And I'm gonna just sort of start it off, make sure that it's going in correctly, which it needs to be straightened out just a bit. And screw it in. There we go. And then we'll grab the other one. Same thing. Make sure that it goes in the hole okay. That way, and stick that in, and then screw it down. And just make sure that that is sitting properly, which it pretty much is. Continue to screw this in. Slowly do it now. There we go, it's pulling, so I know that it's in all the way, in all the way, in all the way. Just double checking it, and there we go. So there we have our front damper stay, and you can sort of see how that's sitting on an angle. So that part is done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use these step screws, grease them up, and then put on the arms as well. Okay, so now let's grease up our step screw. And put some grease on there. Okay, and then you can see that that is going straight into the hole on this side, just like that. But on the other side, you're going to see that we're going to put this through one of the washers. So if I just turn this around, you can see we're going to put that washer on, and then with this, and you're going to see the placement. See this arm, you can see how this side is super flat, and on this side you can see there's a ridge on the open end. Okay, so you're going to want it this way, so you've got the bigger hole. You can see that black marking right there, and then it's completely flat on that side. Now that is going to go in that way, and we're going to end up screwing that in. So I'll grab the screwdriver, and I'm just testing to make sure that is correct. Make sure it's going in properly. that's how that's fitting. Hold that down. And it says do not over tighten, and the reason being is you don't want this arm to be completely locked up because it needs to move for the suspension. So that's actually pretty good. So that I've finished that. Well, actually, I think I do want to tighten that down just a bit more. Yeah, but not too much. So you can see there's a little bit of play there, but for the most part, that's left nice and free. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we'll grab our step screw, push some grease on there. Okay, then we will slide that into the hole there. And I'm turning it around as I did before. Grab our washer, stick it on the end of that. Come on. Just like that. And then again, for the other side, you can see that you've got this open hole, but we want the flat. So you can see this side here. See how it's flat? On this side, it's flat, but it's open, and you can sort of see a ridging around that hole. We want this side, and we want that part. So you can see there's no ridging or anything. It's smooth. So we want to use this side and put it in. So now, once again, we're going to screw that in. And not too hard, so that we still have the freedom of movement on both arms. So there we go. Those are the two arms. They are in, and everything's moving free. So that part is done. So now it's just a matter of putting in the joint cups. So with this one, we're going to grease this up, and you can see that we need the whole thing right up to the joint. The head of the joint, I should say. So grease that up. And we can see how that's going to go in. We're just going to put that right into the hole. So that one's in. And then the same thing, we're going to grease this up all the way from the head right up through the whole thing. And again, pretty liberal with it. Oops, there we go. And grab this one. And same idea. We're just going to slide that right inside. So there is our gearbox with all of the joints in and our suspension arm pieces. So that is the end of step 13. So the damper stays are ready to go. So now we can move on to step 14, which is the front axles.